Respected Additional Secretary, sir, my dear colleagues of ED Coffee Board and ED Tea Board, the representative of UPASI, Mr. Jeffrey, ladies and gentlemen. I represent the rubber board. I could see less familiar faces here. So I'll just give some basic points so that you can understand the rubber sector in general perspective, in broader perspective, so that how it differs from the coffee and tea. As far as natural rubber is concerned, the production in 22-23 was 8.39 lakh million tons. The consumption other side was 13.5 lakh million tons. So we are actually deficient in production locally, domestically. I'm talking about the natural rubber, not the rubber products. The rubber products is a consuming industry for the natural rubber. Consuming industry mainly the tire and non-tire industry. Tire industry consumes more than 70% of the natural rubber which is produced in India. So the price, the production, the quality, the intervention for all these things are little different from coffee and tea. As far as production is concerned, the rubber is, the traditional area is Kerala mainly, the state of Kerala and one district in Tamil Nadu, the southern districts of Tamil Nadu. And in northeast, mainly next to Kerala is Tripura. Now to increase the production and productivity, the government is planning to expand the area as well as the productivity. And Rubber Board is established in the year 1947, so we have the established Rubber Research Institute also. We are running Platinum Jubilee this year. So we have rubber research, our scientists have introduced 7 high-yielding clones so far. So we were able to reach from 550 kilogram per hectare to the national average of 1,450 per hectare as of now. In Kerala, of course, it is higher than that. It is around 1,800 per kg per hectare. So now, as far as expansion is concerned, Honorable Minister of Commerce, Government of India, has come up with the public-private model. He was able to persuade the major consuming industry of rubber, that is tire industry, and they were agreed to support financially for 5 years from 21 to 26 to expand 2 lakh hectare in northeast. So that is a major project as far as expansion is concerned, the Rubber Board is doing as of now. Other than that, as I mentioned to you, we have a lot of clones which is susceptible to the climate and other things that have been introduced, so that the non-traditional areas also can be explored for expansion. If suppose the 1,000 centimeter the rainfall is required average. So but in Chhattisgarh and Gujarat and in many other areas, the lot of agriculture universities are coming forward to work with the Rubber Board so that they can explore the possibility in specific regions with the small irrigation in specific times. So accordingly, we had a memorandum of understanding with the agriculture universities in Chhattisgarh, even in Gujarat, and all are performing well. Even 2-3 years before itself, Gujarat, we have given 4,000 number of trees. And then now they have asked further more so that they can plant in different area for research purpose by using the technical support from the Rubber Board. This is the production is concerned. And there is a challenge here for the replanting in the traditional area. For instance, in the traditional area, new plantation is negligible because of the area available. But replanting, the challenge is that the new generation is not coming forward to take up this rubber sector because of various reasons, including the price and most of them settled in abroad or taken different professions. Because it is a long gestation crop, it matures by 7th year and then it goes up to 30 to 35 years. So replantation, the growers are very cautious to go for replantation. So there the government is giving little push by giving the subsidy for the original planting the rubber. And productivity is concerned, the major challenge is that the disease and as sir mentioned, additional secretary mentioned, the climate change. It is the planting, the generation of planting material itself, it is a very sensitive one. It takes average from 12 months to generate ready to plant material. And then planting season also there. See, after once you plant, then it requires maybe 1 week to 10 days rainfall also. Otherwise, the mortality rate will be high. So, for instance, in the Northeast project itself, we could see the very big difference. Sometimes the first year we could see from April to August. The second year, it has been shifted to little later, even September, October. This year, now it is good rainfall is there. In between July, 2-3 weeks, rainfall was not there. So these are all the practical challenges as based on the experience and micro level intervention. The rubber board is supporting the growers. And then the next major challenge is that diseases. Diseases actually, you can see that the origin of this rubber is actually Amazon belt of Brazil. Now nothing is there in Brazil because of the disease. So, and all the Southeast Asian countries only like Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cote d'Ivoire, these are all the major rubber producing countries. So, the disease control also very, we have to be very sensitive enough towards that. And it is good that our scientists are working on it heavily, and then there is a concept called crown budding. It is in the processed, it is in being processed, and I hope that within 1 or 2 years we'll be able to come up with the recommendation for that crown budding. Once that crown budding is comes, then all these issues of disease would go. But of course, the practical issues will be there. How the ground bedding is made, and then how it can be planted, the logistical issues, all those things are there. But continuously we are working, but it is the results are really encouraging as far as disease control is concerned vis-a-vis the outcome which we have seen so far in the ground bedding. And then the price. As I told you, we are actually deficient in the domestic production of rubber. So the consuming industry requires the less price of raw material, that is natural rubber. The producers, that is growers, wants higher price. So both the sides of the welfare, downstream and upstream, has to be taken care by the rubber board and government of India. So the issues are contradiction, and solution also have to be different in nature. So at the same time, the consuming industries also understand that if we are losing the production domestically, then if one or other reasons, including disease, if the Southeast Asian countries also loses the production of natural rubber, it is really dangerous. So the consuming industry is also very much cooperative with the rubber board and government of India to support the growers reasonably. So how to balance the price between the consuming industry as well as the producing growers. So this is the challenge, and then that's why the government, we used to give the input to the government how much the rate of customs duty can be imposed, and then how to balance the free trade agreements, all those things. These are all the challenges in the rubber sector. And I strongly believe that, like Mr. ED Coffee Board Jagadeesha sir told, government may not be able to handhold for years together. So for getting price, two ways are there. One is increasing the price, that is not in our hand, that is in the market driven, and other is the reduction of the cost of production and increasing the productivity. So that must be the permanent solution. So cost of production, as far as the rubber is concerned, mainly the labor issues, availability of labor, quality of labor. Here mainly the labor, I mean to say, is that main labor is tappers. The tappers also, here they have to work very early in the morning, say 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, they go to the farm estate and then they tap the rubber trees. So availability of the tappers, quality tappers also a challenge. So the scientists have come up with the low frequency tapping. Instead of 3 days once tapping, now they have recommended for 7 days once tapping with the good agriculture practices with the specific SOP. But at the same time, one more factor pertains to rubber sector is the small growers are more than 90%. 13 million growers are there. The estates are only 538 numbers. So, if we are introducing the high frequency, that is 7 days once tapping, then the tappers attached with the small growers, they are not continuing with the growers. So, they are moving. So, that's why the growers are also not able to adopt in en masse the low frequency also. So these are all micro level intervention is required to reduce the cost of production area wise, even within the state and within the whether they are the more than 5 hectares holders or all these things. So it's really a challenge, and Rubber Board is continuously working on it. And then quality. Quality is concerned. Actually, 4 forms of natural rubbers are there, the processed ones. One is the sheets, rubber RSS sheets, rippled smoke sheets, and then latex, and then technically specified rubber. Mainly in India, we are producing the sheet form of natural rubber, which has more farm gate price as well as the more shelf life of 6 months. But the quality, the consuming industry always complains the quality is not good. So we are spending a lot of expenditure after they purchase the sheets. So how to improve the sheets, how to educate, how to give the training to the growers to keep the quality so that they can get the they can realize the good farm gate price. So all these things are challenges, and government intervenes in all the areas. Of course, it may not be able to 100%, but the symbolically we intervene everywhere, and good agriculture practices are spread out from various regions, and continuously Rubber Board is working on it. And as I mentioned, Jagadeesha sir, the lot of experience may be there, will be there with the actual growers. And the large estate also in rubber sector, I have understood in different meeting that even in bigger estates, the machineries are very old, maybe more than 100 years, like that. So those machineries also to be replaced so that the quality can be increased, productivity can be increased, but at the same time it is the expenditure also huge. So so how to support them, and because hundreds of workers, laborers are depending on the estates also. So how the government can support apart from the estates supports them. So all those things are challenges, and we are coming up with the different solutions for different issues. With that, I conclude my speech. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm told we have around 15 minutes available. So any suggestions? I would have loved to have a little more time for suggestions, or if you want to seek any questions on any of the issues that we have raised, I think that'll be better. 15 minutes we have, but I'll request let the interventions be short, pointed, and thirdly, if more than one are asking, avoid repetitions. Yeah.
In your keynote address, you mentioned one very important question that is very glaring, that is very important for all of us. You mentioned regarding the future of commodity boards. You said there are 3-4 thoughts coming into that direction. One is whether to retain it like that, whether to give it to the state government, or whether it should be run with agriculture department, things like that. So that is a very important thing, which is because if you look at it today, we are all sitting here today because of the focused work done by the commodity boards over the last 100, at least 60, 70, 80 years here. Now, that is a very big challenge, and the question that comes before us is what is going to be the future of commodity boards?
Good morning, sir. My name is Vishwanath. I am from Karnataka Growers Federation. I am the current Vice President. Sir, of course, my beloved planter friend has already mentioned about the research. So with respect to coffee, the research needs to be still with Coffee Board. And at this point of time, with the current market prices, even though the prices are at its peak, the return on investment for Robusta is around 50%. For Arabica, it is just 5%, sir. So ours is a capital intensive with a long gestation crop, with at least about Robusta about 5 to 8 years, and for Arabica minimum of 4 to 6 years. That also needs to be recovered. So a healthy return of 100%, if we are not attaining, we are not making good here. You know, for a field crop, yes, 50% on ROI on our annual expenses is fine, but for a plantation crop, it has to be close to 100%. So otherwise, our capital will never be recovered. And longer gestations, already our CEO has clearly mentioned, we are not thinking about putting up infrastructure in the farms because our repayment duration is only 7 years. You know, if we want to put up some machinery which can last for about 25 years, the gestation or the repayment should also be 25. When home loans can be given for 25 years, why not investment on the plantation on machinery? We are not thinking bigger because of these constraints, and again the cost of money. Of course, constraint is, sir, our repayment becomes 7 years. Suppose if I want to put some infrastructure in the farm as a value addition, I won't be able to do it because of the fear of default. Long-term loans need to be done, sir. And productivity, sir, already Jagadeesha sir has mentioned, the Coffee Board has to really work on clonal propagation of coffee. As very clearly said, only 40%. Sir, I am a progressive grower. I harvest double of the national average. But I can't be an example here. All the planters has to increase their productivity. Only way to bring down the cost is increase the productivity, because cost reduction is not a very easy task. Then, sir, there is no insurance scheme for coffee. Weather-based insurance scheme need to be avoided in line with pepper and areca nut. That also needs to be focused. And clonal propagation already I have sent. And sir, regarding formation of FPCs, we are also part of an FPC. Our FPC is called as Bhatia Cook Farmer Producer Company. We are running, this is our 4th year of operation. We are into coffee exports. And we have 100 progressive growers from Cook, and we are doing good work. And a couple of our directors are also here. We have not, to date, we have not availed a single rupee of assistance from the government, stating the fact that any FPC, if they are supposed to get some grants, there should be a minimum of 300 members. Bringing 300 members under one consensus in a low populated area is difficult, sir. Just like Northeast, we also need to be allowed to have the grants when we have a member database of 100, sir. That is my proposal, my request, sir, humble request. And labor welfare, sir, at the time of COVID, the government of India has come up and provided Provident Fund, the contribution through the government. This is one of the welfare activities which the government can think of for an industry like plantation industry, where if the government comes, intervenes there, provides this, definitely there will be a reduction in burden on the annual expenditure of the farmer, and the government support will also come for the grower. That grant needs to be provided. And farm mechanization, wherever is possible, again, has to be a longer gestation of repayment with a lower rate of interest. And carbon credit, sir, at this point of time, we are talking about it, and from Kodagu Planters Association, we did research on that. One of the speakers will also be presenting in the World Coffee Conference. Only one carbon sequestration is considered at this point of time, that is soil carbon. There are 25 ecological services as far as sequestration is concerned, sir. If at least 5 are looked at for coffee, there will be an annual return of 5,000 to 7,000 rupees to a coffee per acre. That also needs to be focused on. I'm sorry, I'm taking a little extra time. And brand building, of course, my fellow planters will enlighten on that. And that's all, sir. That is all I wanted to.
Yeah, okay. So on the topic of price, it's clearly in tea, it's a situation of excess supply. So this has to be tackled in a holistic manner. If you look at excess supply, it's an excess supply of poor quality teas. So unless that is addressed, the supply and demand equation will not be in favor of the producer. What the ED had mentioned was that 2/3 of the area under cultivation is with the large growers, whereas 1/3 is with the small growers, whereas the production from the small grower sector is in excess of 50%. While the small grower sector does have younger plantation, this excess supply is also on account of quality. If they were to improve the quality of the tea, there would be a drop in production. During COVID, what we have seen clearly is that when there was a shortage of little excess of 100 million kgs, the industry, the prices were sustainable levels. So, and also in terms of the schemes, what I feel from a strategic point of view, we'll have to look at this in the short term. And the schemes also of the replanting, rejuvenation, what they will do is they will bring down the quantity in the short term and increase the productivity in the long term. So here again, my request, sir, is that should be seriously looked at. The present schemes have the unit area costs were worked out some time back. They have not been revised in terms with inflation. So it was worked at some 13 lakhs a hectare, whereas now it's 18 to 20 lakhs. So this also, it would be good if it's looked at. And one very important aspect from marketing is the generic promotion. India's per capita consumption is very, very low. Similar to what other industries have done, it's very important to get this generic promotion done. The quality improve, exports will follow. The reason why we are seeing a drop in exports is predominantly because of the quality.
So I'm Balaji Rao from Kunur. I own a plantation producing orthodox teas. Now we've been producing orthodox teas for the last 30 years. Now, but what has happened now in the last few months that we get a letter from Tea Board saying that orthodox production, which has already been sanctioned for the incentive that has been already formulated, now they're saying there's no funds. So, but this is talking about 2018 onwards. Till now, they have not released these funds. So this is one sector that we have to look into it. And second is that most of the 2018 onwards, 18-19 onwards. So not only me, all the producers of South India are facing this issue. That is one. The second is orthodox production is more prominent here in the small district here. But we find that exporters are facing a huge challenge because there's not much of quantities other than who have been certified, but we produce only only in the auctions. So we would like to see that more orthodox tea is produced with an incentive, but I would request what the government can give us, whether it is for a small growers. In fact, we buy a lot of teas from the small growers. 65% of our teas or bottle leaf is from the small growers. So we are indirectly helping the small growers also. So if you can give us some scheme for the industry, like I say, orthodox, and for the small growers, I think I would be happy to get some positive response from your side.
Good morning, all of them. I am Arasu. I am Nilgiri, small farmers, executive member of UPASI last 30 years. But last 20 years, we are fighting for the basic price for. In Nilgiri, we are having, I think so, but ED knows 82,000 small growers there. They have only the 30 cents, 50 cents, 1 acre, below 5 acres, having, I think so, that 60,000 small growers there. We are fighting for the last 20 years, basic price for the tea. Even though they paid, government will the giving price for the basic price, in all of them some other things. But even though that tea, they were not giving for the basic price. Because we are small growers, major, small growers giving the Nilgiri tea is major part of them. Because even though that corporate factories buy the small growers tea, but they have to sell for the auction as well as the import. They have to give for the, I will mention whatever the report I will submit for the ED. The small growers, the corporate factories, like some factories, I have not noticed the name there, they were getting the high price for the export, giving for the minimum price for small growers. Now, I think so, for the notification, 97, 98, the average small growers we are getting 20 to 25 rupees. Now, 2013, we are getting 13, 14. Now that the cost of plucking of leaf per kgs, we are giving 1 rupee to 2 rupees. And that time, we are giving ammonium base 120 rupees, urea base 100 rupees. That even though all the fertilizer and chemicals having more than 10 times more. Even wages also, according to UPASI fixed the wages, more than 10 times more. Because on that time, when I was studying in the college, I used to go for the Kunnur. I have one good cup of tea, 1 rupee. Now it's cost about 15 rupees. So at that time, the tea green leaf price is 20. Now it's 114. You know, all the media know we are hungry strike in behalf of small couriers, various places. We are the deputation for the, I think so, one of my associate meet Commerce Ministry, I heard the news on the for that. But you have to clear cut because most of the land we have sell because we need for the hospitality and education, all those things. So without fixing the basic price, Nilgiri, small couriers life is burning. So, but I request is for not myself, along with representative of 82,000 small couriers, you have to give one more solution. Yeah, but even though when district monetary committee, they said that they put the horticulture department, how much the cost about when the basic tea prices, they have to quote it 22 rupees 65 paisa. Now the Saminathan committee have to give the recommendation for 33 rupees 65 paisa. It's a basic price. The government has to recognize. We are getting 40 if it is indigo, but you have Inco Serve Director, some office, they were giving for 13 rupees. Even though Kothagiri, so many factories, they were giving 14, 15 rupees. How? I don't know. How? You can rectify the thing in behalf of, I'm a requisition application for the 82 for small courier farmers. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Good morning, sir. Basically, just to add to what my colleagues have mentioned on tea, we are seeing that the Indian production is more skewed towards producing more of CTC teas as against Orthodox, and Orthodox is just forming around 10% of our production. And if India has to increase its exports, then definitely Orthodox production and exports have to improve. It's really sad to note that we have 61 rupees, which is a drop in Orthodox prices for the last 5 months up to July. And we are seeing a 8 rupees drop in CTC prices in India. This is basically because Iran, which is one of the highest paying markets, have just not bought teas. And we had a lovely mechanism which was operating where we were having rupee LCs which were being moved through the UCO bank. At the moment, we do not understand where the problem is. We are not getting those LCs opened. So I think there is a requirement here for government-to-government interaction. At the same time, while we are losing out on a highly remunerative Iran market, we have a neighboring country like Sri Lanka, which is really increasing its exports to Iran. So they have got into an oil for tea barter arrangement. We are losing out into with the Russian market. So there is a requirement where our producers and our exporters, the producer exporters and the merchant exporters need to be competitive with the traders from the other tea growing regions of the world. We had the MEIS scheme, which was giving us 5% subsidy. At the moment, the ROTAP is giving only 1.67%. So we are losing out on all counts. So there was a production incentive for Orthodox production of almost 3 rupees that has been taken out. Now, at the moment, it's only just the Assam state government which is giving around 10 rupees. I think these are critical incentives which need to be reactivated, and these are opportunities for us to grow the Orthodox market. Having said that, I think there is a large amount of issues which with pesticides and all the other issues that are there. And there are producers who are certified with the latest food safety standards, which meet MRLs, which have traceabilities. So I think single origin produce also needs to be promoted. There should be some incentive that comes for single origin teas also. So I think these are some of the points which I want to put out. And in India, I think most of the producers are uncompetitive because the wages that we pay, the all-in wages, if you look at it, is $8.50 in South India. In North India, it's $5.50. In Sri Lanka, it's only $3.50, and in Africa, it's less than $2. So I think if we have to be competitive, we need support from the government. And I think there should be government-to-government interaction and to open up opportunities for trade. We are seeing almost a 10 to 11 billion drop in exports from UAE and Iran this year. I think it's high time we get the government support to tide over the situation, or we lose even the traditional markets which are demanding for our teas, but we are unable to do the trade. Thank you, sir.
Morning, sir. In Nilgiris, the small tea growers are agitating.
Last question. Yours will be the last.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, Nilgiris.
So this is the last. After you, last. Yeah.
One more. So, morning, sir.
No,
Sir,
we
one
can
more,
have
sir.
it later. We can have a discussion after this also, no issues. Yeah.
So in Nilgiris, the small tea growers are agitating for the last 13 days. Hunger strike regarding the implementation of the price of 33 rupees for small growers. What is the, in the High Court, what is the government stance on this?
Okay.
Sir, just to take from what ED said about the futuristic exports of tea, if you're looking for a 340 million exports, sir, it has to come from the large grower sector, because if you look at the present exports in South India, 50% from the overall Indian production, 50% overall Indian exports comes from South India, and that too from the large growing sector. And large growing sector production is going down year on year because of no replanting, because of the high pest incidents, because of age-old bushes. So I think there's a lot to do in the R&D space. There's a lot of investment required in that. So only then we can go in for a replanting and pest and disease-resistant clones. Today, South India invariably has got a better footing in the form of MRL compliance compared to the other growing areas. But then the increased strictures, increased limits which have been brought from the European Union and other places, we very soon will fall into a category where it will not go. So we also need to strengthen our R&D with regard to the biocontrol remedies. So R&D today with about 1.5 crore or 1.6 crore given to the tea, it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, we need to really substantially look at it. Like the Vice President mentioned, large-scale replanting to be done, about 20% production to be cut in the short term, which will bring a balance of the overall demand supply, and that will also help to improve the productivity to bring down the cost. So just to add, I also represent, I'm CEO of the Harrison Mill, which also got a rubber as a large interest. So rubber, unless we bring the commodity under the agri-commodity instead of industrial raw material, we will not be able to compete with the global prices. See, today, whether it's coffee or rubber, if the China manufactures, the prices goes up. Brazil crop has come down, therefore coffee price went. It is not because our inherent quality or inherent benefit what we have that we are competing in the global scenario. It is because of somebody else's bane or somebody else's problem. So rubber necessarily has to come under a list of agri-commodity which can bring in a safeguard duty which is better when the domestic industry is in the crisis. So that is something, sir, we should take it up. Thank you.
The last one from the lady.
Good morning, sir. I am Dr. Sudha Srinivasan from Indian Institute of Plantation Management, Bangalore. Sir, my question is with respect to the EU deforestation-free regulation, which is affecting 7 commodities. So, therefore, coffee being a major exports, and also cocoa and rubber. And for this, the major challenge that going through the norms and other guidance issued by the EU, we find that the traceability is the major issue, and this would require a huge investment in terms of satellite imagery, collections, blockchain technology. So what is the way forward with, what is the ministry, what is the initiative that the ministry can take? I would like to know that, sir.
sir, one last.
Okay, last 1 minute.
I'll just, again, Professor Joshi from Indian Institute of Plantation Management. One thing that I think I would like to request all of you is reduction of production is no solution. Only thing is, because we have seen in 1950s when the India's, our domestic consumption was 50%, rest 50% we were exporting, it has come down to only 15% export and 85% consumption. Our share in the international market, which was almost, very high, now I think 50-51%, now it has also come down to almost 6-7-8% at the most. And the productivity, the problems you have seen, like we have seen, sir, in Darjeeling tea, where in 12 million kg it has come down to 6.5. So only solution is to get a better price in the international market. So I think we should, rather than these measures which should be on a forward-looking measure, is how to get a better price. If we do the price competition, you find the Chinese black tea. China is good for green tea, but in black tea, their black tea is getting 5 times more price than the Indian black tea in the international market. In case of Sri Lanka, 30% of the tea they export is in 30 kg bag or less, where in our tea is 3 kg or less, where our tea is the bulk tea. And it is only 4-5% at the most that we. So we need to go for the more value-added tea, fine teas. And I think the generic, the tea board, he is there. He will tell you that despite of spending millions of dollars, we lost the case under the international courts. Anyway, somewhere we gained also. But the TRIPS agreement in the present status under no circumstance protects us. And therefore, I think all of you should combine together rather than, working in compartmentalized manner or in a silo fashion. And that's the same thing I will also like to say, because I did the complete restructuring of the Export Promotion Councils 27. So IIPM will be very happy to do even for the boards, because that thing was done by Niti Aayog. I am not, the right man to say what did they do. But I think we are absolutely committed to do that. But my major thing is the board should focus now more on marketing and ensuring that the, that Indian stakeholders, tea planters or marketers get a better realization of price, and kindly do the international, the analysis at what others are getting the price by. This Kenya export 80-85% of their tea. So we are going down. So I think kindly never go for a reduction of the production. But one thing is the promotion in the international market, promotion in the domestic market.
We are running out of time.
Thank you. And sir, last, and I'm very appreciative of Dr. Jagadeesha that he said that unless you appreciate your tea, foreigner are not going to appreciate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We can have the discussion after, because he'll not allow this to. Otherwise, we've already eaten into your tea time, or tea or coffee time. So there are a lot of. I was right. There's more experience that side than we have as far as the sector is concerned, and there are a lot of suggestions. So I consider this as a teaser for a larger consultation that we should be having on a regular basis in the boards. And I've been pushing them. In fact, this month they are all very busy. Coffee is having World Coffee Conference from 25th to 28th, where I'll in fact request all of you to attend. We have more than 2,000 delegates, almost 100 and how many speakers?
140 speakers.
140 speakers, most of them out of 140, 90 of them from foreign experts who have very good experience, selected, curated by the coffee stakeholders, and huge number of sessions. So lot to learn also there. In fact, I would love to be part of that entire coffee conference. So I request all of you to take time out and be part of that also in Bangalore. Now, I'd request the boards to organize separate, we have this Chintan Shivers, retreats, a 2-day retreat maybe, where we have structured discussions on each of the issue affecting the sectors. Tea sector, coffee sector, financing is part of it, research is part of it, export promotion is part of it, benefits to workers is part of it. So on each of the sessions, or each of the issues, we can have separate sessions and deliberations, and then that will be a good way forward. But we are not waiting for that as far as Government of India actions are concerned. Some of the issues I'll respond to, some of the solutions to the questions are also coming from within the suggestions that you were giving. As far as future of boards is concerned and the schemes of the boards, one of the concerns which is paramount is how to most effectively use the expenditure being made through the boards. Now, you all must realize, this is what I was sharing yesterday, that compared to the other schemes of the Government of India, which are implemented through the state governments, and the implementing machinery is of the state government, expenditure on the implementation machinery is of the state government. Government of India gives a little bit, maybe capacity building, hand-holding. In the case of the boards, the extension work expenditure is totally borne by the Government of India. So even if directly that fund is not being given as a assistance, the expenditure on the boards is a substantial part of help which is being given. How to make them more effective, that's something I think we all need to sit together and look at. And also the schemes which are being used. Export promotion is promotion. Now promotion, export promotion, how much should we go? Now, are we ready for the export promotion part of it? Domestically, the producers have to be ready first. Producers, if they are ready, then we simultaneously, promotion can go on. If the producers are not ready, just export promotion without the produce to be exported doesn't make sense. Now, we can't work alone. Boards cannot work alone. So similarly, the producers, the packeteers can't work without the growers can't work without the processors. So everyone has to work together. There are good examples in coffee, how they have helped, assured everyone in the chain gets a sufficiently remunerative price for realization for what they are doing, so that they stay in the business. Otherwise, like what I am hearing yesterday, who was, Sanjeev was giving, I think, a figure for South India, the area under production, the area under cultivation for tea has gone down. So we won't like to do that. So like he was saying, reducing production is not the solution to the problems. So all that can be addressed, but first we should sit together and find common ground where all stakeholders are on board. Board's role is more of a facilitative role, in bringing you together and helping fill the gaps wherever such gaps are identified, to the extent possible. To the extent Government of India also is a big, multiple departments, they have to agree to fund it also. So that's broadly what I am, in short, brief, responding to your suggestions, some of the questions. The suggestions we have noted, we'll deliberate it further, and let's see how we take it forward. I would like to thank all of you to being such a supportive and forthcoming group of participants today, and I'm very sure all of us will continue to interact with each other and work for the betterment of all the four broad sectors which are being covered through the boards represented here today. I would also like to thank UPASI once again for inviting us, for making us part of this annual general meeting. Thank you once again, and I think this gives you 11 minutes for the tea break before the next session begins. Thank you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the close of the first session. So I would like to thank all the speakers present here today, and I would like to call upon Mr. C.N. Natraj to present a memento to Mr. Bhatia. Mr. C.N. Natraj is a past president of UPASI, and I would like to also call upon Mr. Vijayan Rajesh to present a memento to Dr. Jagadeesha. I would like to call upon Mr. Jairam to present a memento to Mr. Muthukumar. I would like to call upon Mr. Prashant Bansali to present a memento to Mr. Vasanthagesan. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have a short tea break and we'll reassemble at 12 noon. Thank you.